Okay, just a quick one so that we'll save our time. I am here to guide us on three major areas of training, three major areas as time will permit us. One is going to be on what you see on the screen, if you can see it. It's called web designing. I'm sure if you have access to the flyer, you'll be able to know that this is part of the training for today. Web designing, one. The second will be on live streaming, and the third on video editing. So if time permits us, we'll be able to touch these three areas, okay? So I am Marvellous Ebiringa anyway, and I don't have to tell you more. I believe that, as the Bible says, by their fruit you shall know them. Let's see what I can do today. When you go home, you put a definition of my identity, okay? Right. Are we good? Yes. So quickly, web design is all about doing graphic design using special kind of language called programming languages, or what they call coding, okay? I'm sure sometimes some of us, when we speak our slang, we say on code, do it on code, okay? So this is actually where you truly apply that thing called on code, okay? It's actually done by people called software engineers or web developers or web designers, but web designing is where we're focusing on today. So that simply means that the job we're about to learn is the job of web designers. You can just call them graphic designers on the web. And when you hear of web means your browser, okay?
Yes.
Good. You know what a browser means now, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So okay, a browser is simply a software, special software you use for what? Looking for information on the internet. You call it surfing the web or surfing the internet. When you are searching for information on the internet, like somewhere pastor was preaching, you will call Bible verses, I will go somewhere and look for it and bring them show on the screen. So that tool you use for doing that is the browser, okay? Examples are your Google Chrome browser, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, Safari, and all the rest of them. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay, so that your job as a web designer is to what? Put down designs, both in writing, in picture, in video, in audio, bringing content. You'll be hearing content is king, content is king. It's just the same thing. So all those things you see on popular platforms like Facebook and all the rest of them, they were put together by the expertise of both a web designer, a web developer, and a few other persons together. And then you are able to go and type something, www.facebook.com. In fact, that software where you have to type something like www.this.that for it to show you a page is actually what you call a web browser. And our job here is to teach you how to design or create those things that go on those platforms. Is that good? Yes. Okay, so because we are just limited by time here, I'm going to be teaching us how you can do this kind of thing in a very short time. There are more intensive ways of doing it, and it's even better if you learn that one. And for you to learn that, you need to come up to our own, home studio or home platform, which you call Ruby, like you have. Tell you more about that later. But for now, we'll just teach you in less than 10 minutes. If you like, you can put down your countdown timer. Let's see if we can achieve this thing you're seeing on the screen in less than 10 minutes. But if that's going to happen, we'll have an agreement. Someone is already bringing out their timer. That's good. The agreement is going to be that you allow me to demonstrate it, and then you can start asking your questions. Okay? Yes. Do we agree with that? Yes. So you can bring out your timer. Let's go. Now we're going to be designing what you see here within this time interval I told us. This is the tool we'll be using. It's called Bootstrap Studio. Bootstrap is actually a kind of computer development tool, or the name is actually a kind of library for designing. Designing that is creating beautiful designs or outlooks of your web page. Okay, then out of that technology, which is a library, a tool was put together just like a box to put in all its functionalities or features in one place, and that is what we have here as the very tool. Now I'm going to close down this one now and start all over, so you will say I did Ojoro, right? Okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay, it's loading up. I hope this my tool will not help some people now. Okay, let's see. Okay, first thing is you need to install it. Actually, it's not really free. You need to pay for it. But if you want this, if you have your laptop, I can actually help you get it installed. Okay, I have just limited access. I have just a few I can give out. Like only can be installed on only 3 systems. That's the level of license I have, and it's on 3 systems already. But I can just do you a favor for the first person that answers one of my questions. If you want to install it, I can help you with that, okay? So when you open it, you will see something like this, and I hope you can see that. Now you go to where you have, actually it gives you a bonus, like you can actually learn how it works through the inbuilt tutorial, which is what you get from the Getting Started guide, what you see here. But to skip that part, you can just go to New Design. You go to where you have the untitled page, that's somewhere around there. Give it a name, give the name of your project a name. Remember what you're doing is a project. Anything in the world of software engineering or even in anything digital is assumed to be a project. It's not just when you are building a house, you see I'm doing building project. Everything is a project, right? So what name do we give this? Give us a name. Okay, we say you Summit. So it can be anything you can use to identify your work. It's a good name for a project you want to create, okay? Then under it asks you what version of the software do you want to use. You have version 3.4, 4.6, 5.3. Go for the latest, which is the 5.3. Although even as I was opening it told me, it gave me a reminder that the newer version is available, but we can do that later. So after that, you go to this very place where you have starters. This is starters, and this is what different design templates you can go on with use. Then you go for the blank option, select it, and then come down here at this corner. Sorry, the lighting out from outside is not helping our view. If the place room was a bit darker, it would have been more clearer on the board, but we'll just do with this. Then click on create. Now, when you click on create, it will show you this background you're seeing on the screen. Please bear with what you are seeing, but at the end of the day, I promise us that you are going to see that thing you saw initially being created. Okay? Now, quickly, once you come in, this inner part, this central part that is white in color, is actually called your design canvas. Canvas, like the way we call shoe canvas. Okay? So it's actually what the general name that designers call the board. That board they use in drawing or doing anything is called a canvas. Okay? Now, what we want to do is to put in those designs that created what you saw. And because this tool makes the work easier and faster, the job of a designer is to job of using the essence of using this kind of tool is to save time. Assuming you have a deadline, someone is asking you do this for me in a very short time. You don't have all the time to start doing the technical work. You can actually use a tool like this to speed up your timing and fast track your development time. So what you simply do is come over here. This left side of the screen, this is actually shared or divided in 2 parts. You have the online part and the studio part. Everything you see in the studio comes in from 2 parts. The first part is the ones that are inbuilt on the software already. Please, while all this is going on, I hope you are attentive. Okay? So you don't miss out. And don't mind that I'm rushing. We have a lot to do, and I gave you a promise of 10 minutes, right? So everything you need to design for do your design is actually stored in this studio part. All your tools for your design are there. Then there's a second part, which is the online part. For extra things you need, extra pictures you need to finish up your work, you go online, come into this box where you have search components. It's actually somewhere around here. And type in the name of the tool or feature you're looking for. You will see it and then quickly download and put it there. But because of our time, let's just quickly get to the promise I gave us earlier. Now you go and get that heading. That's the heading is that upper part. The upper part is called the header. One thing you should know is that web design is the same thing as what you do when you're using a tool like Microsoft Word to type a document. Did you hear that? How many of us know about Microsoft Word here? You typed in the computer before. So you know that tool you use for typing your documents, like your letter and all that. In fact, take web designing to look like doing what you do on Microsoft Word on the internet. Okay? So for typing a document or a letter, it's just the same as doing web designing, but this time with different skills or different tools, which is coding tools or coding skills. Alright? So what you do for is what the top part of the letter, remember in a regular letter, the top part of the letter is called the what? The header section. Are we right? Then the middle part of the letter, where you do every other thing, is the body of the letter, right? Then the lower part is called the footer. So you have header, body, and footer. The same thing applies in designing. Okay? Are we good? So look out for what has to be on the header part. And by virtue of how this works, you go and get, sorry, let me just put this back. Okay, I think I'm back. Alright. We are still on track, right?
Yeah.
Can we see my screen now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fine. So you just have to go and look out for the top part, which is what stays at the top. And I told you it has to do with the what header. Now, the header section of your design in terms of this thing called Bootstrap is something called the nav bar. Nav means navigation. In the design terms, there are so many names you will hear. Don't mind the way they sound, I'll just explain it along the way. So nav bar, which is your navigation bar, you just click on it, you see as I click on it, then watch my hand movement. You drag and go to the top and release your hand. Do we see that? Yeah. So it's called drag and drop. That's the beauty of this tool. While in the real sense, you need to be typing it like you're typing a letter. When you're typing a letter on the document software. In this case, you don't need to type. The work has already typed for you. You just have to go and pick what looks like what you're looking for, drag it, drop it, and then edit it to your taste. That's now what is called custom design. Okay? The same way I can give you this shoe, you go and spray white paint on it because you don't like black color. At that point, it has become your custom design shoe, right? So that's exactly what to do here. Now, this is it. You can do anything you want to do on this thing you're seeing here. That you can change. This is a picture that shows the logo. You can change the picture. You can change the text. You can change the color, the shape. You name it. Now, I told you earlier that what we are doing is drag and drop. Because what you need has already been typed by someone. To prove that, you come to the bottom of the screen here. I don't know if you can see this top area. If you can just see that there is something, and these things are text, that's things that have been typed. And these type things are actually the codes that produce these results you see. And for this result to be produced, you need two major technologies called HTML and CSS. HTML is what you use for typing the shape. We heard about shape when our daddy was speaking about discovering your purpose, right? So yes, you need a shape for your design to work. Is that a question you want to ask? HTML, I know you will come to that. But my 10 minutes is running out, so can I answer your question later? Please write it down and ask me later. I will answer it, okay? So I can pick up with my time. My timekeeper, are you still there? Yes. Okay, before they defeat me, let me just quickly run. I will explain all those things later, they all have minutes. So after putting your header part, we go to the body part. What looks like the body part is something you will find under somewhere called the carousel. Carousel. I don't know if the person that first discovered this or created it has something to do with that name, whether it is the person's name or whatever it means to them. But it is called carousel. So carousel is actually how you design the body section of your work or your page using this tool called Bootstrap Studio, or even in Bootstrap as a technology. Okay, we can use any kind of design here. There are two of them. Remember, this looks like the one you saw earlier. So can we still use that or a different one this time? Your choice. What do you think?
Different one.
A different one. Are we in agreement?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's try something different so you can still see that it works either way. You still come to it, click on it, drag and release your hand in the canvas section, which is the whiteboard. And what do you see? Our page is already getting built, right? Just by two actions. Click, drag, and drop. Okay, 3. Select, click, drag and drop. How many actions do you need to do? Do you need to go to school to know how to click, drag and drop? Alright. Well, you are in school already here. Alright, so now we're almost finished with this. The last part is now the bottom part of the design, which I told us is called something. Who can remind us what we call that bottom part? You raise your hand before you answer. This temple has been the man of the match since yesterday. I think the man of the match here. Is there anyone that came to this class? Fear God, are you there? Is there another person that wants to take off this trophy from temple? I don't want to be partial. Let another person try. My brother, you turned up our boss. Can you help us now? Redeem yourself. I told you call the bottom part something. What do you call that part? There is something at the bottom of your body. What is it? I'm giving you hints, so you don't even know. What is at the bottom of your body from head to toe? Okay. Let's see. The English says. Now, what do you call that part that carries the visual? Leg. Okay. The part that carries that leg. I'm giving you hints. Foods, thank you. So, foods now that you are using, you call it what? When you are playing ball and you use that to play, you say it's the left what? Left what? I'm trying to hear a word. Left footer, isn't it? The word is footer. Thank you. You tried. You redeemed yourself. Come for yourself, please. So this bottom part is called the footer section. You see how I'm using hints to help you. That's actually how you learn. You don't need to crack your head too much. When you can connect it to real life situations, it will be easier. Okay? Do you understand? So there are so many footer samples you can use here. We have the pretty footer. We have the footer Savitech. We even have the black footer. That black footer was what was used in the previous one. So let's do something different now, right? We even have the GLX footer with icons. Choose one. Pretty going. Do you like pretty? Yes. That's what you see here. This is just to give you a preview of what it looks like. Can we go with that? Yes. Okay, thank you. So again, we do what? How do we put it on the canvas? We drag. Just drag. Select. Click. Help you now. Select. Click. Thank you. Select, click, drag, and drop. So we found the very tool we want to use. So we select it. It's pretty footer. Click on it. I'm holding down my mouse button on my laptop. Then dragging. Dragging is not hard. How hard is dragging? It's as easy as what? As easy as breathing, right? And then release your hand. Let's see. I'm trying to create a new page and do it here and now, seeing where the problem is actually coming from. The one of designing or development is all about problem solving. Okay? Everything you do is solving problems. So the final result you see is a product of several problems solved down the line. Okay? So it's nothing unique or special that we encounter these challenges. It's a regular thing for a designer or a developer. So that when you begin to do yours and you see that it's not responding, you don't feel discouraged. You see it's responding on this new page now, right? And we see that those things that were working before are now working here.
Yes.
So now we'll go back to our footer. Where is that footer we wanted to use again that refused to come up? Now let's see it to come up here. Can you see it's now working? Have we seen it?
Yes.
So sometimes our non-village people, our those people, they come to your work and then it look like you don't know what you're doing again. Okay. So he has given us the name. He said you call your guy at this point. So that's a good one. Thank you for that, sir. So when you need to call your guy, you just do your job. So thank God our guy at the top has helped us with this. That's the Holy Spirit. So now we are working with a new page with on this note. So now our design is almost ready. Next thing I want to do, I want to create a second page which will enable us to navigate. That means move from one page to the other. Because when you're on a website is the total design you have done. A collection of multiple pages gives you a website. Just like what we call an exercise book is what? A collection of individual sheets of paper put together. When you put them together, that becomes an exercise book. That's the same way a website is. Do you understand?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to go to the second page now. Simply go to this place at the top left corner called New, and then tap on it. It will ask you for the name as usual. We can call this one login page. Login is just where you go and register your account details so that you can have access to the page. You see it opens as fresh as blank again as the former one. Now we'll just go and look at our login design or template. Click, drag and drop. It's there, right?
Yeah.
Now there's one more thing you need to do before we end this session. And that thing is simply for you to what? Come over where you have, let me save this first. Remember, you need to save what you're doing. The essence of saving it is for you to have everything in sync, okay? So that you don't lose your design. Assuming never takes life or your battery goes off. Do you understand? Hello, are we still with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's always important to save what you're doing. So that if there's any drama on your machine or your device, you can always restore whatever you have done. Restore means going back to the last stage you were before the drama happened. Okay? So now after that, we need to make sure that page 1, which is test, can connect to page 2, which is the login page. What you simply have to do is come here. We want to have a situation whereby when we click on this login button here, can we see that? Okay, let me bring it to the center so that it will be more visible. Okay, the idea is that when we click on, there's a button here that's called a login button around there. When we click on it can respond to the click. Remember, you're designing the difference between what you type on Microsoft Word and when you design it. Your type Microsoft Word is like a dead wall. Dead means it doesn't have life in it, right? Just like when you write on paper, you cannot say, click on this paper, it will do something. Is that how it works? But on web designing, you give life to that document. That's the essence of what the coding you do. Giving life to lifeless objects, which is the document you have created. So you want to give life to this button so that it's a button because you can click on it. Do you understand?
Yes.
So that when you click, it will be able to do something or perform an action. Okay? So what you do is come to that button, right click on it. Right click it means using the right side of your mouse button to make a selection. Click and select this edit code button. There's an edit code option here. It's around here. So you click on it. It simply and quickly brings you down to what? The CSS section. Someone asked about the meaning of HTML. Are you paying attention? You only asked me about CSS too, but I want you to pay attention so that you know what we're doing. So while you use HTML for creating the shape or structure of your work, you use CSS for beautifying that shape you have created, okay? Your HTML is like the skeleton of your work, while the CSS is like the flesh on the work, okay? Yeah. Imagine a human being without the flesh and he's walking on the street. What will you do when you see such a person? You will run, happy?
Yes.
That is it now. So that's the same thing. When you design without putting CSS on it, it will look very scary for you that you want to run away from it. Okay? So what you do is, there are things here that I can't really explain now because of time. But it is called in HTML balance or terminology, it's called an anchor tag where you have A, href, and all the likes of it. It's over here. Sorry, my screen is not well positioned now because I can't start doing all of that now. I think my 10 seconds has even expired, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm really sorry for that. So we'll come in here and type the name of our page. Log in, the one we want to connect to. Give it a name, login.html. You get this name from actually going here. Okay, before I go there, after typing it, you click on apply. Apply helps to save it. Now, how do you get this name? It's actually from checking on this box that looks like a folder. I don't know if you're seeing it. Go to pages, and the current page we are on, okay, is the test page. Let me see how to remove that. The second page is what we want to capture the name, which is this login page. This login page, if you go to the folder by the right, go under pages, you will see the name index.html, but you can always rename it, okay, by clicking and selecting the rename option or the button. Change it to login, click enter, and that saves it. Then you come under your test and select that login again, go to edit code, and right there we are, put that name you used in setting it. That's how we got the login page. Now the next thing is for us to review our page. Let's see if everything I've done works as I say. Come to the top right hand where you have preview button and select that, and it will ask you to choose your default. Default means your original Photoshop point. Your default port, that is the kind of address that you need to do that. And make sure you enable the preview first of all. You have two options on how you want to preview it. You choose the first one or any of them, no problems. Choose it, and then we are now on our browser. Does this look like what we designed? Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Okay, but I think some parts of it are hidden. So let me see if you can come back to where you can actually see our login button. Okay, it's coming up a bit. Okay, this is our login button now. Okay, so it's expected that when I click on it, it will take me to that other page we created, which is the login page. But I noticed that this our designer tool has some little fault with it. So that is not the problem. What you can simply do is, when that doesn't happen, you now go to a platform. You go to export. Sorry, click on that export button. The export is just about carrying the raw information you use in generating this design, which is actually what is called the source code in computer language, and find the location where you want to save it, and then click on save and then export. Sorry, click on save and then export it. So at the bottom right corner, you see that it's already exported. Unfortunately, our projection is not giving us a good view of what we're doing, but still not a problem. So once you do that successfully, you can now come and locate it from where it is saved. The fastest way to find the location is coming back to that export section. Let's see, go to the settings, go to the browse. So this is the location, this thing inside this box. I have to copy it. Select it, Ctrl C, and then remove it. Now come back to that our file explorer. File explorer is actually where you keep your file saved, okay? Are we good? I know these things will be looking like magic in your head for now, but don't worry. When we meet at the other side of our workspace, we will explain it better, okay? So actually, this is what you're supposed to see. This is actually what you're supposed to see, but let me still show you from the very beginning, so it doesn't look like we did Ojoro. So now you can come here. These two things that look like, that look like a Chrome browser preview. Click on it and go to the open with and select Visual Studio Code. That's actually the environment or tool you use for doing your real programming or coding. Okay? Now this is the full thing. You come down to this left side of your page. Click on it, go to open folder so that it can give you access to the full document. So this is what we are looking for. Select it, and then it will refresh itself once again. You now come under here. At the bottom, there is something called Go Live. Okay, I don't have all the time to explain this now, but
sorry, are you still on the good time?
I'm wrapping up.
Okay.
So now this is exactly the place, the preview of it from the Visual Studio Code. Now let's click on login button and see what happens. Okay, and we now see It has taken us to the next page, right? Let me go back. Let's go back. Initially, this is what we saw from the other one. And when we were clicking, it wasn't working. Because I think they have some problem with that they are designing at that point. But then we went to the main designing tool to just open it. And when you click on that login button, and we now see that the response to our click.
Yeah.
Is that working?
Yeah.
So this is where we wrap up on this for now. Then your questions, please. Is there any? Okay, the person that asked about HTML, right? The meaning is hypertext markup language. Okay. HTML is hypertext markup language. Do you understand?
CSS.
Then CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Cascading Style Sheets. Cascading means like in staircase, like way, staircase, like level by level. The way a staircase is like the step you need to climb up to a stage. So that's what the word means. Cascading Style Sheet. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, we're just trying to meet up with time. So, can we continue to the next part?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So the next is simply going to be on live streaming.